What's up, everybody? Nick the Comic Nerd here, doing my Friday Read of the Week video. I appreciate you checking it out if you did. My Nick's Picks was last night on Thursday instead of Wednesday. Work has been hectic. It was only like 5 minutes. I just got a couple of books. I'm not going to go over all the books. I'll only go over what I read because some stuff was some back issues that I was missing, so those don't go towards it. I have 5 books to choose for this. So yeah, it was a big week. I actually ended up with no DC books this week, which no big deal, it happens. But first I'll go over the grades and then I'll pick the read of the week because I'm still kind of hung up, to be honest, because 2 books were so good that I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which one to pick. So one of those kind of issues that I was having with this. So let's start with Nocterra 3. Absolutely killed it. Such a good read. If you're not reading this, it's so good. This book almost makes me afraid of the dark again, like when I was a kid. Eve, issue number 1. This was awesome. Geeky Guy Comics said in his video Monday that this is going to be something. He was right. I think this is going to be massive. So this is really cool. Pretty cool if they would make this a show. I know it's early to say that, but I thought it looked really great. I read this. This is Thanos Quest. So this is his story on finding the Infinity Stones. I gave this an A. I've never read this. I think it was like the original story to it, to be honest. They were originally called Infinity Gems, which is pretty neat, and it goes through all the people who had them. The only person I originally knew was the collector, and the way he gets them. So this was freaking awesome, to be honest. Super cool to read. It makes me want to go and buy. I don't have, or I've never read the Infinity Gauntlet trade, so I'd really love to do that now after reading this. So Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, I gave this a B. I liked one of the 3 stories. The first one was actually, the first one I didn't really care for. I don't remember. Second one was like another pirate ship one. Wasn't nearly as good as the first one with the shark attack and everything. And then the third one was really cool. They were at a Comic-Con, and basically he dressed as Carnage, and it was this whole thing on how there was like a cult who picked him up there for dressing up, and it was really neat. That was cool. But it was a long time to get to it. It felt like that was a dragged book. I haven't read a book that dragged like that in a while, I think. Star Wars Bounty Hunters, War of the Bounty Hunters 1. Gave this an A. Super cool. Boba Fett story going into how he has Han Solo, and the whole thing is kind of like how he loses Han in the carbonate and how he needs to get him back, really. So this is a huge to-do. Really cool. I'm actually hoping next week my shop still has some covers of this because I would buy some extras and make them a giveaway for you guys. So this was great. But I've got to say, I'm so hung up on Read of the Week. It's I haven't been hung up like this in a while. I so badly want to say it's Nocterra because it was so good. It was the first book I read, though, which always kind of helps. And I love Scott's work, and it was so good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, everything about this was great. I can't decide. I know I'm changing it. It's gonna be Eve. Eve 1, Read of the Week. We'll go over some of the stuff in here. So, little tapestries on there. Alright, real cool book. So it's by Victor Laval. You have the artist and everything else on there. So basically it opens up with this girl who kind of likes to run around the jungle. I got some good lighting at this angle, so I'm not going to turn the camera around. This little girl, she likes to run around to the jungle and everything. You learn that Eve is actually like a, it seems more of like Eve, I think, is a computer system that, that changes where she is. So when you look closely at this panel, it says Eve, she puts her hand on it and it changes the world. She goes back to her dad. Her name is Maxine, and they have dinner together, and they want to see different sites. They have like the computer show them like New Orleans instead of where they are. Finally he tells her, hey, we have to do something. You've got to go, and only your hand can unlock this. And then this is pretty awesome. So what happens is Eve wakes up. You see the teddy bear sitting there in this like chamber, like a cryogenic chamber kind of thing, just preserving her. And when she wakes up, there's nobody there. She's choking. She doesn't know what's going on, and she realizes she's talking to a teddy bear. So the teddy bear's name is Wexler. Great name. And she wants answers, and he's like, there are things I can't tell you. Your dad designed me, and I just can't give you the answers you want for everything. I have to give you everything slow according to his instructions. So she wants to know why she's here, where she's here. He sets up like her bedroom to be exactly the same, but it's all kind of computerized. So she's got all these questions. She's eating for the first time, and she finds out she wakes up 20 years later. So she's 11 years old, and she finds out she wakes up 20 years later. So she's 31 years of Earth, but like, or, you know, we'll see what happens. But really sick stuff happens in here. So she ends up questioning a lot of things, like I said. So she talks to Wexler, and he tells her, you know, you were in there for 20 years, so now it's 31 years total in your life, but you're still only 11 years old because of the machine your dad created, and he doesn't want me telling you everything. So she talks about New Orleans and everything again. Like, so she was sitting there and saw the picture of New Orleans with her dad. Then she looked at the picture again with Wexler, and it was like flooded. So he goes, what happened? The air became poisoned, and there were floods everywhere. So they kind of live in this lighthouse. So it's like her dad knew this was going to happen, to be honest. That's the flex I'm getting on this. And that's why he kept them up so high in the lighthouse. So he climbs up and gets her. And all of a sudden she's like, I want to go see the world and everything. He's like, yeah, so your dad is out there. That's what Wexler tells her. He's out there, but we need to go save him. Like, there's ways to do it. And that's going to be the whole adventure of this story. And they end up cutting this whole book off. That's Manhattan, which is pretty awesome. So it's flooded. If that's the Empire State Building, which I think it is, you know, more than half of it's covered in water. So I don't know what caused all of this. I'm thinking it's going to be the type of story where we go back in a few issues, and it's going to show you some flashbacks of the dad. But so this whole front issue is pretty sweet because I thought Eve was going to be the bear, and that ends up being Wexler, which is pretty sweet. But Maxine is a awesome character. She's going to be a tough kid. She's ready to go on the adventure, and she's like, if I don't do this, we're going to die here anyway. So pretty neat. Wexler and her joke around. First, he carried her for a little while. And she's like, am I going to carry you? And he was joking around. He's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, actually, no, because I'm 372 pounds, and you're not going to be able to do that. So we're going to see all the stuff that Eve goes through and everything. So it's pretty sweet. It's kind of like a Day After Tomorrow vibe, to be honest. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what else. If I had any other theories on this. I don't think I did. So you know what I'm going to do? We're going to pull a double read of the week. We're going to do this. We are. I'm not going to talk myself out of it. Let me put Eve back. I'm going to show you guys Nocterra 3. We'll go over it. So from what we knew last in Nocterra, Val left with Emery, Augustus, the old dude, and his granddaughter Bailey. And then they were being chased by that dude, Blacktop Bill. So they're still on the run, but we get some flashbacks in this. So first thing it shows us is this doctor talking on the news, and they talk about all the stuff, and this is Val and Emery Young. And it's saying how, like, as soon as somebody gets affected by the dark, what happens is the last stage is their eyes turn yellow and red. So we'll see why that's so valuable at the end. So first page and last page, super smartly done. So it goes back and forth, back and forth. So their parents, Val's adopted parents, are in the basement telling them, like, hey, you know, let us out. We feel better now, because they kind of quarantined themselves. That's why I said when I did my read of the week on this in issue number 1, I said to you guys, the way they did this is so COVID-y with the way they check things, which is pretty neat, to be honest. And you learn that they're not talking to the other people. They're talking to the darks. They're saying, like, we love you and all this stuff, and pretty sick stuff, man. Really sick and twisted. So they close the door on him. She's being chased by Blacktop Bill. I'm not going to show you all of it. And he's got, like, these harpoons and everything. She's got some awesome weapons. So she's got this nice neon gas light set up that blows that out the back. Blacktop Bill gets pissed, and a whole bunch of people drive into it. So kind of gets away from some of them, and he pulls out this harpoon that drains the battery from her rig. So now while she's driving, she's actually losing so much power in it that it's dying down, and she's like, Emery, we're going to get caught. So the only way to save them, and I'll show you guys, is Augustus sacrifices himself, and he gets a harpoon right through the chest. Pretty sick. He tells Bailey, I love you, and he tells her that it's all going to be okay. He gives her this journal that his brother, Tiberius, can use to end up saving the world and bringing back the sun. But he tells her, I know the sun isn't there, but find him and it'll help. Then he goes to shoot Bailey, and this is an awesome quick scene. Sorry, my computer just went black. Awesome quick scene right there. So just Val diving to save her in the rig, making sure she doesn't go out, because he was able to open up the door and everything, and there was no way to shut it, because in the first issue it broke when somebody tried to open it and the dark attacked them. So it goes. He ends up getting tied down by Blacktop Bill, and he's going to torture him. He takes his book, and Blacktop Bill kind of isn't buying it. And he's like, no, because he wants the sun to go away. So Val takes Bailey and Emery into this cave, and what people do is, like, they take their handprints to prove that there's, like, it's kind of like a sign of hope. Pretty neat in here. I really, really like this, to be honest. But Emery is not feeling well. He starts crying, starts telling her, like, hey, I tried to do this at one point, I tried to do this at another point to fix things. And she's like, don't worry about it, we need you to just rest. Let me see what the cave is called. I remembered it. The Cave of Palms. So what you do is basically take your hand in like a paint, because everything shines well in there, and you put it on the wall. Really neat stuff. And like I said, it's a sign of hope. And Bailey kind of starts questioning Val, and she's like, you know, do you believe in this stuff? And Val kind of doesn't, and she doesn't say anything, and Bailey says, well, I do. And Val's like, she's just trying to piss me off, but she's right. And yeah, real quick before we go, big spoiler here. So all the red lines that you see in this are actually Val talking, so I'll read you a couple real quick. So like I said, in the first scene, in the first page on the interview with the newscasters and everything, they were like saying how they're not talking to you, they're talking to the dark, like the person can now, like the people controlling them in the darkness and all that stuff. And Val doesn't realize, so she goes, what I didn't realize, Emery says I love you too before he falls asleep, was that he was already speaking to something else. And he goes, I love you with all my heart. And when you look, so this is what I mean, yellow eyes with red. So pretty sick shit. This is getting so hard. So we just lost Augustus because Blacktop Bill was like, you know what, I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to leave you here to turn, which is really terrible. Obviously that's got to be like a big sign of torture. I just, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that like really honestly sucks for him. So this is cover A, by the way. So was Eve, was cover A. So there was that part, and now I just get the feeling, to be honest, Val's gonna have to kill Emery, you know, and I think it's gonna come next issue, maybe one more after that. So I don't know, I don't remember how far this is supposed to run, this Nocterra series, but excuse me, but overall pretty crazy that, I mean, he's gonna go, like, and I just think she's gonna realize she has to kill him. So pretty sad, pretty sick stuff. It also kind of reminds me of I Am Legend, how like towards the end of the movie Will Smith has, like, you know, take care of his dog and stuff. Just terrible. And that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. So absolutely loving it. Like I said, every week it comes out. It was kind of like when King in Black came out for me, being such a Venom fan. It was always gonna be up for read of the week. So that's why I was like, you know what, let's go with Eve and show them Eve, because that's a new book that I think everybody should check out. And then now that we're at issue 3 for Nocterra, I was like, you know what, we have some time. We only took 5 minutes to describe Eve. We're going to go into Nocterra 3. We'll do 2 read of the weeks, which I think is safe. So check out that Thanos quest if you're kind of like young like me and haven't read Infinity Gauntlet, because it's really cool how it shows you like where it all came from, and you learn some stuff about the stones that I never would have known because they don't show it in the movies. So really, really awesome stuff, to be honest. And then, yeah, what else did I read? Oh, Star Wars Bounty Hunters. If you're reading that, read War of the Bounty Hunters. Like I said, I'm going to go try and get some extra covers for some giveaways. And then I'm going to do a great giveaway for, I have the whole run of King in Black, all null covers. So I'm going to give that away too. Maybe that'll be my Tuesday video, alright? So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the read of the week. If you didn't see Nick's picks, go for it. My Origins video for Monday was amazing with Geeky Guy Comics. Put that on, use the settings, make that a time and a half. Make it go a little bit faster, but check it out, man. He was so cool to talk to. Everybody I've had on there is just amazing to talk to. It's so cool. This week there will be no Origins. It'll be the week after with Roscoe, which is amazing. I'm super stoked to work with him and learn about his journey into comics. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the video. Let me know if this was your read of the week. Let me know if you picked up Eve. Let me know if you're still reading Nocterra. And if you checked out any of those other books. So stay safe. Enjoy your comics, guys.